Honestly, when I signed up for public problem solving last semester, I had no idea what I was getting myself into or what the class would entail. It looked more interesting than a lot of the other courses in the connection section, so I just went for it. I figured we would talk a lot about global warming and things along those lines, but I never thought we would actually be helping our campus and community. At the beginning of the class, we discovered that the basics of sustainability has been broken down into three concepts, or pillars: social, economic, and ecological. Over the years, different scholars have developed models to help the public have a better understanding of how sustainability in our world can be reached. Social, environment, and economy all have inner concepts that correspond with another category. Eventually, the concept of systems thinking began to be researched by scholars. Systems thinking suggests that everything is connected, each concept holds the same amount of significance as the next, and, as Forrester says, accepts complexity, non-linearity, and feedback loop structures that are inherent in social and physical systems. Our main focus of this class was community-based research and all the steps that go along with that. Much like a flock of geese maintaining bee formation while flying, a community-based group has to work together and change things for the good of the community and team. According to Stoker, by flying in a V formation, the whole flock adds at least 71% greater flying range than if each bird were to fly on its own. The geese know that they cannot get to their destination alone. They need everyone to do their part. My group and I were assigned to work with the WKU Food Pantry and Christian Ryan. We also had the opportunity to work with other food services on campus like Airmark. According to Stoker, the main form of diagnostic research that centers on problems is the needs assessment. In needs assessment, the focus is on understanding the difference between a current condition and an ideal condition. Through the diagnosis process, we were able to identify the food pantry's biggest weaknesses, which were insufficient funding, not enough food storage, like a freezer, low number of volunteers, and a lack of healthy and fresh foods. The next phase of Stoker's community-based research is prescribing the actions needed to fulfill the issues found while diagnosing. According to Stoker, the prescription stage of project development is about the plan. And because prescription involves some form of intervention in an existing condition, it is important to have diagnosed the existing condition in as much detail as possible. Our possible plans of action included food donations from Fresh Food Company, buying meals from local restaurants during holidays, benefit nights at local restaurants, and advertising for volunteers. A useful tool during this phase was a Q-sort methodology. When using Q-sort methodology, the group ranks the needs of the project based on their importance. For the food pantry, our group thought that healthy and fresh food was the biggest need. The second biggest need we saw was more sufficient funds, and our group thought that that could help with other things that the pantry needs as well. After obtaining healthier food and more sufficient funding, our group thought that the pantry would need a freezer, which would help with food storage. Our group decided that more volunteers should be the lowest ranked need. After coming up with plans and ranking the food pantry's needs, our group is finally ready to move into the implementation stage. According to Stoker, the implementation stage is putting plans into action. Since our group's main focus was getting the food pantry healthier and fresh food, we decided to reach out to other campus food services like Pod and Fresh Food Company. We had the wonderful opportunity of talking to WKU's Airmark manager, Steve Wong. Through his interview, we were able to learn more about the Food and Fresh, Kentucky Proud products, but most importantly that it is possible for Airmark and the food pantry to have a partnership. This was definitely the most rewarding part of this whole entire class. I don't think until this part of the project I totally believed that myself and a bunch of college kids could make an impact. The class as a whole gave me hope that things can get better. Our Earth doesn't have to be on a downward spiral with no hope of change or improvement. Everybody can impact the world. It just depends on whether that impact is positive or negative.